Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me again. And today we are looking at Midnight. This is a, well, they self-describe it as a golf-like game puzzler that I found on Steam, and was released January 28th of 2016, so it's been out a little while. Only currently has 18 reviews on Steam, so not a lot of folks have seen this game. It's definitely not something I'm used to playing, but I actually, just to start out with, found it to be quite fun. There is a lot of trial and error as you learn this game. A lot of it, as you can see, is kind of physics-based and propulsion, and then trying to avoid some obstacles. And you can see there, after you complete a successful level, you get a certain number of stars based off of how, I guess, how many attempts you took. This game is not as easy as it looks. Keep in mind, this is an edited video. Out of the 5 or 6 minutes of gameplay I'm showing, I probably failed a good 20. Part of that is my own skill. Part of that is the game is somewhat difficult. You have to navigate a lot of different traps, and of course, as each level goes along, it gets more and more difficult. Although I kind of got stuck right around 13, 14, 15, and actually kind of flew through the last 3 that I'll show you here. You can see a lot of it is, again, trial and error. So you're trying to point this glowy box in a certain direction and a certain force behind it in order to get it where you want while avoiding traps. And you can see from this screen here, there is a circular saw in the middle. Well, that is going to kill you. And you can see down there a big smiley dude in the corner. He'll pop up every once in a while. You can essentially not move him. Now, I've not yet found a game where it became helpful to actually try to encounter him, so I tend to stay away. This one was very difficult. This one I cut out probably 10 or 15 minutes getting that damn stick to move exactly how I wanted it. My first go around, it only moved a little bit, not enough for me to fit through, and I had to start over. Yes, I had to purposely quit. You look on here, you can see on the left and the right, there are 2 separate areas that have no black border. If you fall through these, like I just did, you have to start all over again. And you'll find other little edges that have certain properties. There are some that bounces you around quite a bit, so you cannot just try to knock off certain walls the same way as the other, because some are, I guess you could say, more spongy or reflective than others. And of course, you have to keep in account the slope of the ground. And it is quite interesting, to say the least. I at this point, actually, if you do not mind puzzler type games and you want something to do to pass some time, I would actually say take a look at it. I kind of enjoyed it. I probably will keep it around as something to do when I'm a little bit bored. I don't think it'll be something I play up until I beat it, per se. I don't know if I could. My skills are just not that good. But I will say, I would probably recommend it if you can get a good price on it. Currently, it looks like the price is $2.99, so it is not a ton of money. Oh, I hated this one as well. Trying to get this square right on that platform and then bounce it perfectly there. Somehow, like I said, the last few stages, I actually kind of flew through them. That one, as you can see, I got 3 stars. I guess I got certain things down a little bit here as well, and this was taking a lot of bunny hops. Now on this puzzle, yes, I was able to get it where I wanted it, but it took a lot of tries. So as you'll see, after I complete it, I only, I believe, get 1 star. It basically said, you did not do very good. And I could have been a little bit more forceful, but then, of course, those little sticks poking up at you at the bottom would have made me die. So I took my time on that one. Like I said, these last few actually went a lot better than the others. There you can see now we have this all moving. I don't know how it didn't kill me there. I'm pretty sure I touched it, but I still was allowed to play. And this one actually became kind of simple as long as you just navigated away from the saws that were spinning. I actually found it much more challenging when you're trying to go through a very tiny area. I will say that the control that I would like to have is maybe not perfect, but there's definitely a learning curve like this one. This took also a few tries. Now you're probably going to get to see me do it pretty quickly, but trying to navigate this space perfectly to get it down in that one corner. And oh, there you go. That happened actually quite a bit. So again, the name of this game is Midnight. Petite Games is the developer and publisher. It is on Steam. It has mixed reviews, and again, a lot of it's going to depend on, I guess, just what you like. This is definitely not a typical type of puzzler because you're also adding in a lot of physics behind it. And like I said, there is quite a learning curve. There were a few times where I felt like I chose the same direction multiple times, same velocity multiple times, and I didn't necessarily end up in the same place each time. I'm not sure if there are some things within the game I'm just not aware of that allow that to occur. I mean, I'm just not really sure. For example, a couple of times if I pointed straight up, it would not necessarily come straight back down. It would go to one side or the other, and I couldn't figure that out. Oh, and you can see here's a good example. You don't actually have to put your mouse on the box. You can put it anywhere on the screen and just use the direction and force you want and click. So you don't have to necessarily be directly on the box.